This is Eagle Owl, and today I will be talking about Gardner Johnson getting praised by Weaponettes, aka Brian Dawkins. Yes, I said it that way for a reason. Also, we're going to talk about Howie Roseman possibly fleecing the Jets. Remember, we thought the Jets fleeced us? Nah, Howie might have fleeced the Jets. And lastly, I believe a big move is coming, and we got a lot of cap space to work with. But let's get straight into it. I promise y'all, Eagle Owl takes showers and change his clothes. You seen this video Sunday possibly. If any new news came out, I'm sorry. I couldn't put it out there. I'm definitely sorry. As you guys know, if you see my video in the beginning of the week, I said I'll be traveling. So I decided to shoot 2 videos on the same day. And look, this was some interesting stuff that was going on during OTAs, but I wanted to break down OTAs and I couldn't really get into these topics. Again, I promise y'all, I take showers and change my clothes. You guys gonna see this Eagle shirt the next 2 videos. All right, so Weaponettes, Brian Dawkins had praised CJ Gardner Johnson, and this is what Weaponettes had to say.
Absolutely. I mean, I love his versatility. That's what I've always said about him. Like, I love his versatility. I love his mean streak, absolutely, but I love his versatility. But now on that defensive side of the ball, if you look at the draft, they have a whole bunch of guys, in my opinion, that I call chess pieces, that they can move around the field and they can do a lot of different things. In today's NFL, you need versatile guys. You can't just have guys that can do one thing. They have to be multiple to be able to do a lot of different things, because offenses throw so much on the field. So CJ is one of those guys that if you surround him with the right, individuals, like, that can be an absolutely dynamic group under Vic Fangio. I believe this is going to be a much improved defense, much improved.
I love it. I definitely love it. Getting the praise from a Brian Dawkins. I know a lot of people hold the conviction to Brian Dawkins after what he said about Kayvon Wallace, who I believe Kayvon Wallace had a lot of potential. He just couldn't live up to it. But what Brian Dawkins is saying about CJ Gardner Johnson is true. Brian Dawkins is absolutely correct about CJ Gardner Johnson, though. CJ Gardner Johnson versatility is really going to help the Philadelphia Eagles thrive. And under Vic Fangio liked those type of guys. I always think of Van Ginkel and Miami, but look at the Eagles. Get Cooper DeJean, who can play outside, who can play inside, who possibly can even play safety at a high level. CJ Gardner Johnson, versatile. We know he's a great safety in this league, but don't sleep on his coverage skills. I believe he can, if he wanted to be a nickel corner, he can possibly be the best nickel corner on the team. So don't sleep on that. But Brian Dawkins is correct. These dudes, you can't just have them in one spot anymore. They got to be able to do multiple things. I even think of a guy like even Zach Bond, who named been buzzing. He can play edge and inside linebacker. So it seemed like Vic Fangio liked those type of guys. But the praise he's giving CJ Gardner Johnson is warranted. Like, it's correct. The versatility, playing under Vic Fangio, CJ Gardner Johnson is going to thrive. He's going to be phenomenal. But you even think of a Quinyon Mitchell. At one point, we all had him in a box. Like, well, maybe he's just an outside corner. Nah, Fangio want to try him as a nickel corner as well. Put him in dime packages. So he really like mix and matching his guys. Because if you're not versatile in today's NFL, like in almost every position, you might not even make it. You probably can't make it. Look at Hassan Reddick, for example. Now, Hassan Reddick, he's great. He's great at getting a quarterback, but he won't thrive in the Fangio defense because Fangio don't want his edge rushers just getting sacks. It sounds crazy, but he don't. He want them to be able to drop back. Think of a guy like Jalen Hunt. It's a reason why he was big on that type of guy, because not only can he get the quarterback, he can drop back like a safety. So, yeah, Dawkins is right. Versatility will help this team. But again, how he talked about and praised CJ Gardner Johnson was definitely correct. All right, so let's get into the next topic. Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman might have fleeced. He might have fleeced the Jets. All right, so as I made this video and the tweets I've been seeing about Jets reporters, and maybe he did report to camp, but Hassan Reddick haven't been reporting to camp at all.
Robert, has Hassan Reddick been here at all this spring?
He has not.
Do you know why?
No.
He was pretty, before he left Philly, he was pretty adamant that he wanted a new contract. Has that been relayed to you guys?
I don't know that. I don't know. That'd probably be more of a question for Joe.
Is it, I know it's voluntary, but is it concerning he's new to the program? Is it a concern at all?
No, obviously as a coach, you always selfishly you want everybody here all the time, but it is voluntary, and I'm thankful for the guys who are here putting in their work, and those are the guys who I'm going to focus on.
Have you had any communication with Hassan?
I have not.
Is that unusual?
No.
For
Like I said,
a player?
Like I said, for me, I'm focused on the guys who are here, and Hassan's a pro. He's been in this league a while. He's produced at a very high level for a long time. He's got his routine. If it makes people feel better, we know where he's at. We know what he's doing, and we know he's working his tail off to get where he needs to get to have a productive 24 season.
Do you expect to see him next week?
I do.
He haven't been messing with the Jets because he still want his money. Now, to me, that's more of a slip up by his agent, because his agent and those guys shouldn't have accepted a trade unless a new contract was on the board. And what I think happened was, and shout out to Anthony DeBona, I believe he put this out, and that's where I'm getting my mindset from, is that the Jets might have thought the Eagles were bluffing when they said Hassan Reddick wanted a certain amount of money, or basically he's going to hold out. And that's what Hassan Reddick is doing in New York. Like, yo, I want my money or I'm not playing. Now, think about it. We got a Bryce Huff, their up and coming star, who they could have paid 18 to 20 million per year to stay. But now they signing an older guy who want 25 to 30 million because he want that last hurrah contract before, he hang up his cleats. And that's fair to Hassan Reddick because look at his stats. But at the end of the day, they had somebody younger coming up in the building who they let walk and let the Eagles just steal. And now we traded Hassan Reddick, get his money off the books, for a guy who looked like he don't want to play for that organization and want to get paid. Whereas though, again, they could have just paid on Bryce Huff, but Bryce Huff is going to thrive in Philadelphia. And man, how we might have got over. And then I'm not even mentioning the draft pick we got. Yes, it comes within 2 years. Yeah, man, how we might have fleeced the Jets. He might have fleeced the Jets, because I kept saying, yo, the Jets got us. We getting a pick 2 years later, and we don't know how it's going to pan out, and we don't know this and that. But maybe how we seen some, maybe how we started to see like Hassan Reddick is getting disgruntled, or maybe the news was true that Hassan Reddick just chased sacks for money. Don't know. I love Hassan Reddick, but that's the rumor. Chasing sacks for money. Hey, I'm just a guy reporting it. Maybe that's totally off. And now he's giving the Jets a hard time because Robert Saleh and those dudes, like, he's not reporting anything, and it's voluntary. I'm not sure if he reported to his mandatory because I'm watching the Eagles, but Howie might have got the Jets, y'all. He might have got the Jets. All right. And speaking of Howie, let's talk about a big move that we possibly preparing for. So now, I didn't talk about it. I don't even think I even mentioned it at all, but Quinyon Mitchell is officially signed. So he's officially on the books. And the Eagles still got $25 million in cap space. $25 million in cap space. I don't think Howie goes into the season with the roster we got now. And there's nothing wrong with the roster we got now. I think we're loaded. Of course, cornerback position, I think the offense is great. But Howie might have seen something, or the coaches might go to him like, we want this guy or that guy. Or maybe we try to trade for this guy or this veteran out there. because we got too much money on the books for Howie not to make a move. Remember when we first got CJ Gardner Johnson, it was towards like the end of preseason, and I honestly, I still look at the linebacker room like, okay, you got Devin White, who I like, but do you really trust Zach Bond to be that guy? Ooh, N'Kobe Dean look like he's still recovering and they trying to ease him in. Are you prepared for him to be that guy? Don't know. Do we need more depth at edge rusher? Is it worth trading for? I don't know about that either. And honestly, with all that money, I think you got to trade for a linebacker, man. The only reason why I'm saying this, and I'm not saying that because I don't believe in Zach Bond or N'Kobe Dean or this and that. I just don't have time to experiment right now. Like, we're not in rebuild mode. We in win now mode. So if you're able to get like a guy that's coming up on his last year of his deal, who's playing at a high level, trade for him, and you able to pay him, why not? Unless an extension is, I think, Isaiah Rodgers. What if he really is playing at a super high level? We don't want him to go anywhere next year. You got money to pay him. So it could be that. It could be like a guy on the roster we're willing to pay. What if Devin White is playing at a higher level? We could extend both guys. So we'll see about that. But far as my belief of knowing Howie Roseman, this is not the final roster. I don't think it is. I think he trade for somebody. I'm just not sure who. I'm not sure who it is. I don't have no theory who it is. I just think he trade for somebody. But I'm about to wrap this video up. If anything happened Saturday or anything like that, I'm sorry I couldn't talk about it. I will talk about it that Monday. And yeah, man, I'm enjoying my new space for a little bit. I will be in the windy city of Chicago, enjoying the windy city a little bit. Then I'll be back at home in my, New Jersey brethren, whatever you call it. And we had an original setup, but you guys will see him, probably a plain white wall behind me or something. I don't know how the setup is going to be, but I will be in the Windy City for about a week or two. Then Eagle Eye will be back in his old setting. And yeah, man, hang in there with me, man. Hang in there with me. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel about the news today? Weapon Nets bigging up CJ Gardner Johnson. Howie Roseman fleecing the Jets. And we got a lot of money, man. But this is Eagle Owl. I'm up.